Well, 3, 2, 1. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Thursday night. It's a few seconds early, but we're all kind of drifting into the Discord and drifting into the Roll20. You are listening to our abbreviated pre-show music by Pipe Dream Hits. Pipe Dream Hits is music by streamers for streamers. You use it on your live streams or your YouTube videos, your TikTok videos, your Instagram reels, or whatever the cool kids are doing these days, and you will never get a copyright strike against you on this. So, I think we have everybody we're going to have. We have Michael, we have Ken, we have Heather, we have James, and we have Paul. And we have a couple of people joining us from hither and yon. And on the road or in the midst of moving. Ken, your mic sounds fine tonight. I haven't heard James talk much. James, okay, yeah, you sound good. Yeah, you sound loud enough. We can hear you. Wonderful. And we think we're probably going to miss Ivy tonight because she's not feeling well. So she was under the weather a little bit earlier, told her she might not make it. And so she's probably not going to be here this evening. So we'll dive right into the recap of last session. Last time on the Sword Coast Chronicles, our heroes were at a place called the Shady Lady. It is a rough and tumble inn and tavern over not too far away from the wharf district in Yartar. Yartar. Sounds like a good pirate town, doesn't it? Yartar. And
Yar. Yar.
Yar. And in the waning minutes of the session, Krenraid learned a bombshell. It turns out that this water baron's daughter, Annette, is her name, who had been spreading a rumor around that the father of her unborn child it was some Rapscallawag bard that had been through town several months ago by the name of Thaldohr. And that had got her father all riled up when he learned that this self-same Thaldohr had been at the Fat Dragon earlier today. So he came over all in a huff after most everyone had skedaddled, except for Dez. And he made the mistake of waking Dez up, which made Dez transform into a bear and scare the bejesus out of the guy. Also, Druid crafted him with the stink of skunk on him, and eventually sent him away from the inn. But he couldn't get away fast enough because Mulek was lurking around outside, and Mulek used his polymorph ability to turn the Lord into a frog and sent his owl familiar to pick up the frog and fly far, far away. Well, that meant that the Lord's horse went galloping off back to whence it had come without a rider. And when it showed up at the palace gates with no rider, that caused a little bit of consternation among the guards. And after, talking to people and saying that and the Lord had shouted something about going down to the fat dragon. A bunch of them went over and started asking some questions. And in the midst of asking all those questions, well, the party just sort of managed to lay low. Tiri, the cook, laid out several of the guards with her rolling pin that she uses like a battle axe. And does about as much damage with it as she would with a battle axe. And that meant the party had to move to the Shady Lady. And at the Shady Lady, Krenraid ran into a young human noble. Well, he kind of looks like a noble. Turns out he's sort of a fraudster himself. And something of a rapscallion that works with the Zentarum, fella by the name of Josiah. And Josiah, seems that maybe he's actually the father of Annette's unborn child. And so after Krenraid informed the rest of the party of this, they said, well, we gotta ask this guy some questions. Find out some things about him and maybe about this Zentarum, because there's a few people in the party that have some contacts that don't really like this Zentarum very much. And so we left our session with Krenraid going back to the common room, hoping to maybe bring Josiah back to their room. But this young man is unconscious at a table with two of his friends who are watching him to make sure that nobody else in the bar tries to pick his pocket. And they are sitting over here at a table. And I think as we left the session, Krenraid, you were walking into the common room. So what would you like to do?
Well, waving my hand in a very obvious and friendly motion, I'm going to start walking over to the group that are sitting down at the table and ask if I can pull up a chair.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Have yourself a seat.
Oh, thank you ever so much. I didn't get you 3 names. What's your names?
Oh, well, you see that over here we have, actually, how do I have them on my I did not put their names on here. Over here in this chair at the end of the table, we have Josiah himself, and then next to him we have his buddy Florentin, and next to him we have his buddy Damon. They will introduce themselves as Florentin and Damon, and of course Josiah sitting over there, just doing that sort of drunken snore, with a smile on his face, seemingly there from the funny joke that he told you about how his girlfriend has pulled one over on her parents and gotten someone else in trouble for it.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you two. That's all I'm going to start with. And I feel like we should probably celebrate this new meeting with some more drink. Barkeep!
And Florentin and Damon, they look at each other, and they already have some tall mugs of ale at their place, and they're like, no more for us. We're gonna have to get Josiah home. We'll let him sleep it off for an hour or so, but then we're gonna have to help him get home. We can't drink too much.
Okay, that's a very respectable choice, but how about this? I'll just buy the drinks. If you don't drink them, I will. That's fine. And you could have them a bit later if you've nursed those beers down and you're feeling a bit cheery. You could have something else, can't you?
And they look at each other and they shrug their shoulders and like, yeah, sure. That sounds great. That sounds great.
Have you guys eaten yet? I haven't eaten yet. What's this place's food like?
Oh, you should get the roast mutton. The roast mutton here is really good. Now, sometimes they have some really nice grilled river trout, but I saw the river trout they were bringing out earlier, and they're a little bit scrawny today, so I wouldn't get that. I'd get the roast mutton. They serve it with this nice sort of savory sauce and some potatoes and side of some root vegetables is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay, and now my stomach is grumbling like a Tyrolean hound, and I absolutely require the mutton, please, barkeep!
And he looks over and he waves. He says, "Oh, we'll send the servant maid right over." And then he goes to the kitchen and he says something to them. It's kind of, you can't hear exactly what he's saying over the din of the people there, but you're now sitting there making conversation with these folks, and so Florentin looks at you and says, "So did I overhear you tell Josiah a little bit ago that you'd been to the Underdark?"
Oh yeah, we went to Gracklstog, which was this really cool Underdark dwarf city. It was a tale to be tailed, if I was going to be honest, about how we actually got there. But that would take a long time, and I'm really hungry. So I've been to the Underdark. What do you want to know?
Oh well, I mean, they say it's so scary there. I mean, did you see any of those? Did you see any of those dark elves? The drow?
Let me think about that for a second. It was terrifying. There was a lot of scary things. There was a giant dragon. There were giants who bed themselves into the rock, and that's how they sleep. And then there was this massive ape, monkey, crab thing that came out of the sea and attacked the city. They were, wow. Yeah, a lot happened.
Oh my goodness.
Those are the highlights I could remember.
Oh my goodness. A giant monkey thing attacked the city out of the...
Yeah. More importantly, I played cowbell in a band, and it was really great.
You played cowbell in a band?
Yeah, we got it set up. We played for we were so awesome, right? Me and this group of adventurers I was walking with at the time. We got together and we decided, all right, we need to make some money. How are we going to do this? One of us is very musically inclined, as your typical adventurer sometimes is. And he's like, all right, I got this cowbell and I'm really great at it. So he's like, yep, let's do this. So he taught me how to use it, and I did really well, obviously, because I have a natural rhythm. And he's just going to keep going on and on and on about the show in the attempt to bore them while keeping an eye on Josiah. Is Josiah's recovering at this point, or is he still completely flat out?
Oh, he is completely flat out. By the time your food comes, and we're gonna leave you there talking to them, and we're gonna go back to the room here. Hey, everybody else, your dwarf left a few minutes ago, and you kind of thought he was gonna bring this character back, but he's been gone for maybe 15 minutes. So what do the rest of you want to do?
Deckard. Or wait, we're safe to say his name here, unless the walls have ears.
That's up to you to decide how.
I'm going to keep calling him Deckard.
Okay.
Deckard, I see that Krenraid has brought us great news. He said he was going to go get the guy, but he's been gone for about 15 minutes. Should one of us go check on him?
I mean, let's just trust it. Krenraid knows what he's doing. He's a smooth talker when he needs to be.
That's fair. If you don't let his mouth write, things his butt can't catch.
I mean, he does look innocent, though. I think that's the key to it. Like he just looks like one of the boys. You know what I mean?
Well, I'd say probably after an hour we might want to check on him.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, well,
also, also keep in mind the timeline. I think we had established, if I'm recalling correctly, that by the time Krenraid went out for his drinking game, it was maybe around between 4 and 5 in the afternoon. The sunset's going to be about 8. And Thaldohr did give word to the Thieves Guild this morning that you guys were going to be at the boat tonight. So if you still plan to stick to that schedule, you've got a couple of hours to play with, but you don't want to take so long here that you wind up missing your opportunity to go there.
So Thaldohr speaks up. He goes, "Well, that is true. That is true, Deckard. We don't have long. Sorry about that. We don't have long before we got to get to the boat. I did let people know that we were going, but I had an idea. Krenraid did come in and tell us he worked for the Black Network and stuff like that. Correct? When he came in the room.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He repeated what he learned.
Right. I could.
It was a bit bumbled, but that was part of it. Yeah. He was very distracted.
And I just to make sure I refresh myself, I went back and listened to it today, and you guys did puzzle out that he meant the Zentarum. Okay. So you guys had already established that.
Okay, I'm just making sure in continuity. Okay, here's my plan. I could always get the Thieves Guild to pick him up. They really don't like Zentarum, the Black Network. I could always get the Thieves Guild to hold him for us and they can interrogate him as long as they don't kill him. But they can interrogate him, get a confession out of him, and we don't have to dirty our hands, and we can continue on the plan that we need to continue on. But that's up to you.
I think that sounds like a great idea. Let's go with that.
Okay. Mulek, I need your assistance.
All right. What do you need?
I need a message sent to Lady. Oh God, I can't remember her name. Thought it was in the chat. I looked back. I didn't see it. I need a message sent to the Lady of the Thieves Guild. That we need somebody to meet us at the Shady Lady and pick up Josiah. Quick description of him. And hold him for interrogation until we get done with our investigation.
All these messages I keep sending, I'm kind of running out of spell slots here. So,
or I could try plan B.
More effective. I can do it, but just keep in mind I may be less effective tonight.
Do you have a scroll?
If we need, well, no, I'll do it. But
well, no, I mean, if you have a scroll, you don't have to burn your spells. I mean, we could just use a scroll. We got plenty of them, don't we?
Well, eventually we're going to run out of scrolls.
Out of character, if it's a spell of a level you can cast, I think you could if you take the time to do so, you could create more scrolls eventually. Yeah, it takes time and money and material components and stuff, but you can eventually do that. So it's a renewable resource.
I can do it. You're going to have to describe this person to me, though, because I think I need to have met or know this person well to be able to send them a message. And I haven't met this person before.
Being King Mine, I describe her perfectly to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's a gnome.
Yeah, I described that she's a gnome. She's about yay tall. Here's her facial features. Here's her description. Better yet, I draw you a picture.
There you go.
I pull out my quill and my paper real quick, draw you a picture. This is what she looks like.
All right. And what do you want me to send?
The best way. You're always better at words than I am, but we need member of Xantarum needs to be picked up. Shady Lady, Thaldohr at Thaldor's request. Hold for interrogation till we're done with our investigation.
Okay, I send that message in 25 words or less.
Right? Yeah.
And Michael, if you go into the chat, into private chat, we put the name of your contact in there. That's why it wasn't in the.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
NPC names and channel. Yeah, I thought we had, so I was just looking back through that and double checking, and it's in there. All right, so you send that message. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat basically what you had him send? What details you gave her?
I said, member of Xantarum needs to be picked up for interrogation while we finished our investigation. This is at Thaldor's request. And then also I'd say contact next to... I try to figure out how to word it because Krenraid, we know Krenraid's probably down there talking to them. So Krenraid can confirm. Something of that nature in 25 words or less. It's hard to put it all into a quick message.
Okay.
On-site confirmed agent of Xantarum.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So,
this way we kill two birds with one stone.
You send that message, Mulek.
Okay.
And a few moments later, you get a response back in what seems like the prim voice of a elderly gnome female. Says, and it says, interesting. I wondered if you all had changed venues after the earlier commotion today at the Dragon. I will send some operatives around in an hour. Tell her. I suppose you're the one he got the book for. And then that's the end of the message.
She'll send someone in about an hour.
Good. That means she's in the know, so we're all right then. It makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. So hopefully Krenraid can keep him distracted an hour.
Yep. So, Krenraid, what are you going to try to do to keep these guys entertained and occupied for an hour?
Well, seeing as my understanding of the plan is that I'm taking them back to the room, I'm acting under that assumption. So
okay.
I'm trying to butter them up a bit and tell them all the stories of Gracklstug and the massive escapades we went on, all the food that we tried and everything else. And then I'm just going to very slyly slide into the conversation. You know, I've got 2 of my mates, right? They were with me at Gracklestug, and they brought back all sorts of stuff. Like, they got the mushroom mead, they got, like, a shard of the stone keeper, and, like, some dragon loot and things like that. If you want, and I think we should definitely bring Josiah, because we don't want to leave him by himself. You know, he might get his stuff stolen or something. It's not a very nice place. If you want to, we can go back to the room. I'll knock and let them know that, you know, you guys are okay and you're not going to nick anything. You seem like decent people. And you can have a look at some of the stuff and hear what they have to say.
Make a persuasion check.
You got it, boss.
Because you really are trying to persuade them to come to your room. It's under false pretenses, but let's see if you can sort of persuade them to come to your room.
Don't know. Maybe not.
Okay, I am going to go offline here, and I am going to do a wisdom save for them, or a wisdom, like basically an insight check for them. Whoops. Okay, so the one. Okay, so they both look at you. I mean, they've kind of been leaning over the table closer and closer the more of these stories you tell, and when you say the words dragon treasure, they kind of look at each other and they smile, and then you invite them to come and take a look at it, and they go, "Oh, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds fantastic.
It is fantastic. It's really cool. You guys are going to love it. Bring the beer."
Yeah. Okay. Well. We probably had better bring Josiah. Can you take the beer?
It's probably better if I carry Josiah. No offense to you two, but I can probably carry him by myself, and you two can carry 4 beers. I've only got 2 hands.
And so, yeah, you kind of, and they're like, okay. And so you go over and you know, this guy is, you know, drunken dead weight, but he's not that heavy. He's like maybe 150, 160 pounds. He is kind of a slight guy, human, and dressed a bit like a dandy, you know, because he basically does white collar work in terms of what the Zentarum are up to. He's one of the bean counter guys, so he's kind of a white collar guy. And yeah, you can kind of. How would you like to carry him? You can fireman carry him. You can
very unceremoniously. I'm going to crunch him above my head, so it's like holding up some weights above his head, and he's just going to start running towards the door because I can easily carry his weight.
and they look at you, they see you do that, and they start laughing. Wait for us! And so,
bring the beer.
Yeah. So you start moving off, and you know, they'll
jogging away, carrying a guy. Hits his leg against the door. Oops, sorry.
As he bangs his leg on the door, he's kind of and he sort of does that, but he you know, he snorts a little bit, but that's all the reaction he gives, because he drank quite a bit for him. Right, so you head on over there down towards the room. So I'm just going to go put him there, and then I'm going to go get these guys and bring these guys along. Okay, and they will come on along and be right behind you. Okay, so now you get there to the door, what do you do?
Okay, guys, one of them might be sleeping because he had a really, really bad day. He's feeling a bit bearish. So I'm just going to knock a bit. I'm going to let them know that we're coming in because, they don't know you guys, but I know you seem like decent people and we should all be good, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll have a party.
Knock, knock, knock. Hey, guys, I brought some really cool people from the pub. This guy called Josiah, who's like a really good drinker, and his friend Faerun and Damon. They want to see the stuff from Gracklestone. Can I bring him in?
Thaldohr, you hear that at the door.
Sure, Krenraid. Yeah, we're expecting. Yeah, come on.
All right, just and so his money just crunch the guy inside.
Okay.
Chuck him in the bed.
Yeah, and he comes in, and these two guys come in. All right, so they get in here, and and as they walk in, they take a look around and they say, "Wait, there's like this moment of confusion that comes across their face." He said there was 2 guys, and then they start counting.
I'm blocking the door.
Okay, so do you actually close the door?
Oh no, 100%. I chuck the guy on the bed. When they walk in, I'm closing the door and I'm standing in front of him.
Okay, all right. So
sorry, guys, I never really learned how to count.
Yeah, Josiah is flung here over on the bed opposite this shield guard, and these other 2 guys, they look and they see the shield guardian. They're like, "Oh my god, what is that thing?" And then Damon is like, "Is that a shield guardian?"
He's harmless. Don't mind him.
Oh. So, which ones of you went to the Underdark? Was it the old timer? Oh, hey, old timer, they say towards Faerun. They look a little antsy. You can see now the Josiah has a rapier, and Krenraid, you could actually tell by carrying him, it's not the heaviest weight, but he does have something like a chainmail shirt or something on under his clothes. So he's got some armor on. He's got the rapier, but these other 2 guys, Florentin and Damon, they don't appear to be armed.
Oh dear. Okay, well, beers on the tables, everyone. I'm gonna walk over and pick one up and chillax for a bit.
Okay.
I think these guys have some, really great stories and some questions that they also want to ask. So I'll let you lot mingle while I enjoy my brew.
Krenraid, have you brought company?
Yes, you blind old fool.
Welcome, gentlemen. Stay a while and listen.
Oh my God! Hey,
Uncle Jesse.
They're like
Deckard Kane.
Oh, they're like, oh, so you were there in the Underdark? They say to Faerun. What? Krenraid was telling us.
Well, they say it's dark.
Wait, Krenraid, was he blind? Was he blind when you took him to the Underdark?
Oh, I didn't take him to the Underdark. He was just there. We just met up.
How'd you lose your eyesight, mister? Did now Krenraid was saying there were some monsters down there, and did some of the monsters take your eyesight while you were down there?
It was a great evil.
Great evil. And they're kind of looking at each other very confused. And, from the bed over there, the drunken Josiah passed out over there. And these other two, they're now starting to try to pepper Thaldohr with questions. So they start asking, well, what was down there? And one of them says, well, what did you see? Oh, I'm sorry. What did you experience down there?
Big red dragon.
And
in Tyrion's voice. Tyrion, I gotta have that Tyrion voice. A big red dragon.
A big red dragon? Oh my God.
It was massive.
Hey, it's just, what? They let one in the city? Or was it attacking the city?
Oh, it's so much worse. They use the red dragon to keep the forgers alight. It's their pet in Gracklestug.
While they're distracted, Gally, I want to slip a little forget-me-not weed in their beers.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Thaldohr is going to assist him by trying to keep their attention by telling them things like don't forget the giant demon.
Oh yeah, she was an ugly one.
And
it was a
go ahead, Thaldohr, and make a persuasion, make a performance check because you're telling a story. And as a bard, yeah.
Okay.
And,
I was just trying to assist him. That's all.
Well,
I'll do a performance. That's cool. Here we go. What could go wrong?
Well, a very adept old man.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Thaldohr, his score on the performance check gives you advantage on your sleight of hand check. So 19 is one of your scores. So go ahead and roll again. See if you can get better than a 19. 22. Okay. All right. So this is how that works. That it makes kind of sense that if he is going to assist you, he uses his skill in a way that would help your skill. So, yeah, definitely. They're sort of, you start describing this demon and all of this, all this kind of stuff, and you embellish with whatever details you want, and they're just sort of eating this up. And this demon, he just comes closer, and then Florentin, he kind of comes over here a little bit closer, and they're just sort of looking at Thaldohr real closely. Thaldohr, they're not paying any attention. So yeah, you very easily put a little bit of that, mix it into their beer, and they just seem totally oblivious.
So I take the mug that doesn't have any in it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you're doing great. I love it. But no, I take the ale that doesn't have anything in it. I tell them, gents, before we get deeper into the story, why not have a toast to the adventures of Deckard Cain and the Underdark?
A fine idea. Chin chin.
I came down.
Sorry, Bear.
And they look over and they go, "Oh my God, a giant!" They see
giant, yeah.
And then they look over at the other bed over there and say, is that a cat asleep over there? No, it's a cat person asleep. Where'd you find the cat person?
I'll kind of open up her eyes and kind of like snarl her nose and kind of give them a slight little hiss.
Like, ooh, and not a friendly cat person either. So then one of them looks at Mulek and says, well, you say your friend there, and pointing to the shield guardian, your friend there won't hurt us. What about her? Was she hurt? Did she hurt people?
Yes, very much so.
Only when you look at her. Yeah, only when you look at her wrong.
And so then this demon, he just sort of moves over here closer to the shield guardian. And he kind of looks over his shoulder at Belle and gives her sort of a smile, but then tries not to look too much at her because he doesn't want to look at her wrong and make her mad. So, yeah, all right. So you propose a toast, and they'll pick up their mugs, and they'll say, "Yeah, we'd love to hear more about the adventures of Deckard Cain and the Underdark." And so they toast and they drink down that
Nice.
that beer. Now, what is the? That's one of the.
That's one of the homebrewed things that we made.
Yeah. So did we give it like a DC for the effect, or when the effect kicks in? Or?
I don't think so. I don't think we gave it a DC. I think it was just if I put enough in there, it won't hurt them. It'll put them to sleep, and they wake up not remembering what happened like for the past 2 hours.
Okay. All right. So, they drain those mugs of ale, and they're like, "Oh, that's good ale." And then they say, "Yeah, Mr. Cain, tell us about the more of your stories about the Underdark." Krenraid said there was like this big monkey thing that attacked the city. What was that like?
Oh, you mean Demogorgon?
Demogorgon. Demo? You don't mean the Demogorgon?
The deity of the underworld.
Oh, well, my goodness.
That's what they said.
Oh, that must have been horrible. They look at Krenraid. Were you there? Were you there when that Demogorgon attacked?
I was there, and I was running for my life. It was terrifying to behold. The entire city roused up in arms. Giants were running towards the battlements carrying spears the size of houses. The dragon was unleashed and started flying forwards to protect its horde. It was a scene from a fantasy book, and I hope they're still alive.
Oh my goodness. Demogorgon attacking in the Underdark. That's terrible. Add to all the other stuff going on. Why they say there's a cult that's trying to do the damnedest thing. A cult that wants to bring Tiamat to the natural world. I mean, who'd be dumb enough to try that? Do you think there's any truth to that?
Belle's eyes will shut open. She'll kind of give them a weird glare. Like, huh?
Yeah, Mulek will also look over and say, "How do you know that?"
Oh, well, I heard some fellas talking. I heard some fellas talking that were going on the river. They came in town off of the river a couple months ago. They talked about how there have been some attacks down Baldur's Gateway, and some towns down in that part of the world had been attacked, and there's people kind of all getting up in arms down in Waterdeep at the mouth of the river. So I don't know. There's lots of people that think this is going on there, and some people are moving soldiers around and whatnot, so they must think something's going on.
So you haven't seen anything recently?
Belle will want to do an inside check to make sure that that's everything that she's being told.
Okay. With a 24 insight, you think they are telling you pretty honestly what they know, but they are trying to make up details about where they heard it. So they're being honest with the information they have, but they're being dishonest about where they heard this.
We'll kind of
how they know this information.
And then look over at Mulek, and then she'll flex at her claws and say, I can smell the fear in your pants. It's not a nice smell. To kind of like cover her nose with her claws out, so just like a little bit of an intimidation.
Okay.
But then she'll just go off and let them continue talking.
Okay. You make an insight check of your own.
Okay.
Let's see who can tell if they're drugged or not.
Okay, yeah, Mielek, you definitely get the idea that Belle is trying to tell you something is off about their story, but you may or may not know. You may or may not be able to figure that out from exactly what she said, but she's telling you, okay, something doesn't quite add up about their tale. And Thaldohr, go ahead and we'll say Falazer's talking for another few minutes. Make a perception check, or let me just double check what Thaldor's. Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check, Thaldohr.
21.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to say that Belle and Thaldohr with the 21, you can both see now that in the few minutes after they've had those beers, Damon and Florentin, they're starting to try to stifle yawns.
I look over at Mulek and I go, nap time? And I point at them. I point at them and give the effect of nodding off. And I hold my mug up and take a sip and look at, like I'm giving cues to Mulek, like, I'm drinking my mug and I'm looking at them and I'm giving him like the nodding head look like they're about to fall asleep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they asked more about Demogorgon, and they said, Krenraid, you said some of your friends have some dragon treasure. Is there anything you guys found from that dragon?
Yeah, and I pull out, what was it? It was a gold piece or a platinum? Can't remember what the dragon gave back to me. I think it was a platinum.
Yeah, I think it was. I think you gave him some gold and he gave you a platinum.
Yeah.
That had been part of his hoard.
Yeah. So I hold it up and I say, look, fellas. Let me do my Tyrael voice. Look, fellas. It's a piece of dragon treasure that was given to me by the red dragon.
No way, man. The dragon gave me. The dragon gave you treasure? Dragons never.
Thaldohr looks down at his imaginary watch and goes, like, taps his wrist. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I can't believe the dragon would. They just sort of slump over.
Yeah, anybody want to grab some rope? We need to tie all 3 of these guys up.
Already on it, brother. Give me a second.
Thank you.
I'd already got out of the backpack.
All right,
God, they were annoying. Thank God that stuff kicked in just the right time. I think I might have underdid the dose just a little bit.
Yeah,
these are like nice guys.
Yeah, these guys are both out like lights.
And they won't remember anything that happened to them for the past 2 hours when they wake up.
Yeah. Well, as you guys get them tied up, did you want to search them or anything?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's.
I carve a bell in their faces.
Can you carve a bell in the face?
Okay, whoa,
Good
Bell.
Lord.
I guess we're getting into the Halloween spirit. I'm down. Let's go.
Thaldohr grabs Bell's hand. No, we've got this taken care of. Maybe later, but right now we're waiting on our contacts.
Let her use a little bit of your makeup.
Oh, okay, that's fair. You can draw a bell on their faces.
Have fun, Bale.
So she'll take like a little red marker, or, like paint, or anything that she can find. Just draw like a bell shape on their faces. It's like this kind of reminds me of Mr. Smiley.
As long as it makes you happy, Bell, it's okay.
Okay, so
the guy on the bed is Josiah, by the way. He's the one who we think is the father.
Well, we'll let the Thieves Guild handle him, and I told them to hold him for interrogation. So they'll hold him and keep him for us while we continue our investigation. So what I need to do, I probably need to go out and wait for a member of the Thieves Guild to show up. They should be here in, how long you think, Gally? About 15 minutes?
Yeah, about 15 minutes. So as you search these other two guys, they don't have any weapons on them. They do have. They all three are wearing very nice clothes, fit for upper class merchant or a noble of some kind, and they have some coin purses.
Nice.
And so Damon and Florentin, in their coin purses, they each have let's see, they each have 23 gold and 2 platinum.
Nice.
And then Josiah, in his coin purses, his is a little bit more full. He has 13 platinum, and he has 26 gold.
Holy
Okay.
cow.
So I take just enough from their bags that compensates me for paying for this room and paying for our silence. And I take the rest and I throw it to Mulek and said, Mulek, add that to the bag of holding for the party fund.
Okay, so
Oh, Josiah the liar.
yeah.
Yep.
So let me do this.
I'll make it easier on you. Thaldohr actually pockets 10 platinum and throws the rest to Mulek.
Okay.
That'll make it easier on you.
And
10
Belle will claim
PP.
her attacks.
Yeah.
And then take one. Most shiny
That's
coin.
fine.
The shiniest one.
Okay, so then that means there's
5 platinum. Wait, what did Bell take?
She just took 1 platinum, the shiniest platinum.
okay.
Right,
so
it's
that
4
means
platinum,
total.
35
Actually,
gold.
total of 6. And
Yes,
because
it's 4.
it's those guys, and then
7. Yep, 6. Or 5.
46 and 26. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is 46 and 26? It's 72?
No.
62. No.
Yeah, 62. What?
72.
Hey, 100.
Yeah.
180. Bullseye.
All right. So 650 and 70. Oops.
72.
The last is
that's
to
72.
the party
I was just
treasure.
teasing.
Yep.
4,
Okay.
17, 10, 7, and 6 platinum. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So that is what you guys get there. Then he's got a masterwork rapier.
Ooh.
and he also has it looks very nice and well polished. And it's got a fur-lined scabbard that he keeps the rapier in, and he's got a very fine-looking chainmail. Probably that's masterwork chainmail as well.
I asked the party because I can actually use that. I can use a rapier; it's a finesse weapon. So I asked the party. I was like, "Do you mind if I use this?"
Oh, by all means, my friend, it's all yours. It's a very nice weapon, I can tell you that much. I was eyeing that on the way in.
What does masterwork mean?
It means it's very well crafted.
It means it's well crafted and it's suitable to be enchanted.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, out of character. I mean, it'd be good for you or Bill. So, whatever you guys want.
Definitely best for Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be if anybody has a magic weapon, it would be a downgrade from a magic weapon. But if you have a non-magical weapon, it would be a nice platform. Or if you want to create a magical weapon or find somebody who can make a magic weapon for you, it would be a nice weapon to enchant.
Yeah, that would be more what Thaldohr's thinking. He might get that done later. We might get it enchanted but just a masterwork rapier would help in close quarter combat for Thaldohr.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. So, masterwork rapier from Josiah.
And just a normal, well-made chainmail?
It looks, masterwork.
Okay.
Masterwork chainmail from Josiah. Okay, so we'll say you, Thaldohr, you stick around long enough to see kind of what they find. Then you head out, and a few minutes later, there's there's three human females that walk in, and when they walk in, they look like they're very comfortable. They're armed. They're armed lightly, kind of armed like rogues, and they just sort of carry themselves like seasoned warriors, and they just kind of walk in with the air of people that expect trouble. And there's make me a perception check when they walk in.
Ouch.
Okay.
I am
Yeah.
Well, my passive is 19.
Okay. With your passive of 19, you notice that the bartender looks up, or when the door is open, he puts on his ready smile, and then they walk in, and his smile falters a little bit, seeing them, and it's kind of the smile of, oh, I was looking forward to a quiet evening. Now it may not be so quiet. It's like, oh crap, here comes trouble. And go ahead.
So to get their attention, I whistle lightly, or like, and in Thieves, can I say, I'm Thaldohr, I'm your contact.
And they look over, and they give a curt nod, and okay, now you say that when they're at the door.
Oh, I thought they'd walk to the bar. Well, yeah, I'm right here. I moved my character. I'm sitting here at the table.
Yeah. So yeah, these three it's not always easy to find a. Okay, so we'll do this. Let me find. Yeah, this is not a good. Not a good. But it'll have to do. It'll have to do. All right, so we'll say because they're not in flowery dresses, but we'll just say that there's these three that walk in, and their names are okay. We'll say one of them is this. One of them is Isabel.
Mary.
Okay, and do that.
And Sarah.
And then the second one. Hey, are you naming them for me? Mary, you said the second
Mary,
one was
Sarah, and Winifred.
Well, okay. I already made one of them Isabel.
We
So
watched that
we'll do Sarah. Okay.
Is that the Sanderson sisters?
Yes.
Okay, so
I smell children.
That's kind of creepy that you can do that well.
That will sounded practiced.
Guess what I'm doing for Halloween?
Okay, Mary.
So they walk in. So Thaldohr, where are they when you kind of whistle to them?
As they probably when they get about here, closer to the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, I whistle.
Okay. Okay, then I need to make a die roll over here. Okay. Yeah, you say that in Thieves Cant to them.
Yes.
And they kind of look at you, but then you also notice out of the corner of your eye with your 19 passive perception, the giving a different name than you gave before, that sort of causes the bartender to turn in your direction,
Right.
and kind of narrow his eyes a little bit towards you, like, okay, it's like, all right. So this guy's a little bit suspicious of you, you would think, at this point.
That's fine. I did just pay him 50 gold to be hush hush, so I wouldn't think he would care.
Okay. Well, yeah. He seems, for whatever reason, he seems a little bit nervous with these three here. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. And now he's kind of giving you this look. So, he's something is up. All right. So they will walk over to you, and the one that's sort of closest to you will say, "You can call me Isabel," and she speaks rather quietly in Thieves Cant so that you can hear it, but nobody probably outside of 5 feet from you can hear it.
Okay.
She says, "You can call me Isabel. I was told we were meeting
Krenraid?
someone here." Yes.
Yes, he's my party member. We have the people you're looking for in our room if you'd like to follow me.
And they look at each other and they shrug their shoulders. Sure. So you lead them back to the room there.
And I knock and I say, because Krenraid's probably still in front of the door, I imagine I knock and I go, Krenraid, we have company to come take care of our guests. Can you let us in?
What's the password?
Krenraid plays an awesome cowbell.
Oh, yeah, you know how to flatter me. Come on in.
You know it, sweetie.
Okay. And so, whoops. So they come in, and
I'll just stay there.
yeah, they look and they see all three of these guys tied up and passed out, and they're like, nice work making our job. Well, it would make our job a little bit easier if this were not a Zentarum-owned bar. That is a bit of an issue, but
From over at the bed, Dez kind of peeks an eye open and goes, "Oh, what?"
It's all good, Dez. Just go finish your sleep.
Mhm.
yeah, actually, Des, you can go ahead and get the benefits of a long rest at this point.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah, he's curious about whatever this word is.
yeah. And they look around at all of you and they say, so what is special about this one? And what is special about these people?
Krenraid, do tell this nice lady here your story that Josiah told you.
Oh, I'd be more than happy to. So, Josiah, the guy on the bed, is the lover of the Water Baron's daughter, and he believes, and he confirms, he saw a wizard at this dark syndicate, or whatever you guys are referring to, whatever that was. And that wizard confirmed that he is actually the father of the baby. It's not Thaldohr the Bard, which is, hot piece of gossip. You could have that one for free. He says he does like all sorts of bookkeeping, something to do with numbers. I don't really understand it, to be honest. But he does that for this thingy you guys keep talking about. I don't really get that. It seems like a bit of a dumb name, but yeah, that one. And these two are his friends. Yeah, overall, they seem like nice chaps, so don't treat them too harshly, but, I know what needs to be done, so do what you got to do.
And Isabel sort of scratches her chin thoughtfully and says, bookkeeper for the Zentarum.
Sounds important.
Did he say whose books he keeps?
Let me roll a wisdom check to see if Krenraid remembers. Because that's the kind of thing he would forget.
Yeah, apparently he remembers.
I do remember. Okay, but does Paul remember?
Out of character, it was the casinos.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah,
it was. Okay, yeah. So yeah, some of the casinos, I guess, like the ones on that ship or something else like that. It sounded very important by the way he was describing it. Mind you, at that point he was a bit drunk.
And Isabel gives a low whistle and says, "Oh, that would be news to the Water Baron. That would be news indeed. You see, the Water Baron has suspected for several years that some of the casinos have been skimming profits and not reporting their actual incomes. They seem to be doing very well any day of the year, but come tax time, they always report lower profits than are expected. Of course, their books all add up, and so far the tax authorities have not been able to find any holes, but young Josiah here might have some answering to do for that.
Isabel.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, my lady, but I need one favor. of the guild with this man, I need you to clear the name of Thaldohr the Bard in this town. That is my trade for bringing him to you.
Oh, that should be easily enough done. If the Zentarum have a wizard who is capable of casting, casting, I'm going to guess some sort of
divination magic, I think is
what
you're looking for.
Yes, Deckard.
Contact other plane, I believe, is the spell that would allow a wizard to ask questions of an entity from another plane. Of course, a cleric could do something similar with some of their divine magic as well. But yes, that should be easy enough to confirm that he is in fact the father. And with all of the trouble that poor Lord, what's his name?
Barkway.
Poor
Bryson Ruthial.
Sorry.
poor Lord Bryson had this morning. Oh, if he gets his hands on Josiah, I don't think Josiah is going to enjoy what happens to him. He is angry enough at his daughter for even knowing where babies come from, much less taking up with what as he thinks, a fly-by-night bard. But when he finds out it's a member of the Black Network, and one that has been harming the city's tax revenues, he will be fit to be tied. And I'm assured that the Water Baron herself will not be best pleased with young Josiah's meddling. Yes, we will gladly make sure that the Water Baron and her husband learn the truth of Annette's child. And Mary looks over at Josiah, and she shakes her head and says, "It's a pity. He has a pretty face. I don't think it will be so pretty when her father gets finished with him."
That is not of my concern. I just wanted to do what needed to be done. You know what I mean, and I wink. What needed to be done.
As long as he's still alive at the end of it, a bad face is a small price to pay for a lesson learned.
I tap Krenraid on the shoulder. I don't know if he'll still be living after this, Krenraid.
And Isabel said, I think that the Lord will want his daughter to have a husband, will want the father of his grandchild to live. He may not have his liberty to see his grandchildren until they are grown, but he will live. And I'm sure that the Water Baron and her husband will make sure that their daughter marries him and keeps her wedding vows while he rots in prison.
That's fair. But let your lady know of the good service that's been done for the city this day as well.
Oh, we definitely will. Now, we will need to get them out of the back of the inn. If we take them through the common room or out on the street, it will arouse some suspicions, since they are so deeply tied in the Zentarum. Most of the patrons in the bar and half the staff will probably come to their defense, and that will make our afternoon very messy. We don't like messy.
I'd be glad to help you carry one or two of them out. Krenraid, do you mind offering a hand?
I'll be more than happy to. They're very light. I'm going to start walking towards to pick him up again.
And then before they let you leave the room, they look at the others and say, "Could some of you perhaps go out to the bar and maybe order some food and keep the patrons, keep the staff occupied for a few minutes.
Dez, do you need a couple coins so you can get something to eat? Or are you good?
I can go down and get something to eat.
Okay. Belle?
About this time, he gets up and kind of hunches a little because the rooms, of course, are always too small.
Yeah.
And digs around in his belt pouch and then smiles at the ladies and then goes downstairs.
Okay. All right. Belle or Mulek, either one of you interested in
America? What in the world is going on with me?
Interested in doing what?
going to the common room?
Distract and eat while we carry these out the back door.
No, I'm just gonna chill here in the room with the shield guardian.
What about Belle?
Deckard Kane.
Is Belle going to go to the common room with Dez?
I'll kind of tap her lip a little bit and just think, it's like, I want to put on a show if I go down there. Get some money while I'm at it too. That would be good.
Belle. Low key, Belle. Low key.
But you said distract them.
Not that distracting.
Distraction in the show.
We don't want to rouse any more suspicion than we already have. Look, here's a shiny. I pull out a shiny coin. Go get you something to eat with Dez, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
The mutton is to die for here. I wholeheartedly recommend it.
Yeah, that mutton was really good.
She'll kind of chuckle and still have the platinum piece that she stole and still didn't give back yet. Besides if he took it from her while she was sleeping. But
nope.
You wouldn't know.
Until she looks for it.
You wouldn't know.
But she will still try and take the piece from him because he's kindly offering it.
I am.
Okay. All right. So we have Belle and Dez.
But before you go, if anything goes wrong, get me.
We will.
And she'll kind of give a really big wink, and then she'll run down the stairs.
Okay. All right. So then I guess Mulek and Thaldohr will be staying in the room while two of them help them carry the louts out and to go to the common room. Is that correct?
Mm.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So then Dez goes down and yawns big and stretches, and I heard there was a mutton dish to die for. I want some.
I was yelling about that. I don't really know why. And oh my god, your mouth is wide. She'll kind of like stick her paw on like the top of Dez's mouth, like.
And Dez just kind of like,
And the bartender says, "Oh, the mutton is very good. It better not. Don't and good sir. It's never nice to say to an innkeeper that their food is to die for. It makes people think that you may be implying that there's poison or something."
Pardon my ignorance. I'm not often in. I do not live in towns very much.
Oh well, that's all right. That's all right. And my lady, he says to Belle, will you have the mutton as well, or did you want to try something different?
We'll kind of smile and take her hands away from Dez's mouth and kind of sit there, kind of casually, and she'll say, "Well, what about insert rare food here, or what about this rare food here?" And then she's like,
good salad of greens. Fresh greens.
Salad. No, I don't want salad.
For me, not for you. You just get fish.
Fish. Don't talk about my fish that way. Fish.
We do have some river trout. We make it grilled with some herbs and a lemon dill, little lemon dill dressing. It's quite good. People like it. Would you like the fish?
But what about the rare food here? Don't have that?
Oh no. We cater mostly to local folk. They prefer a more simple. You have to go to the casinos usually to find the rare foods.
Well, I just give a big, huge, long blink and say, "Yeah, that's fine. Okay, just a glass of milk with that too, but in a bowl. Please and thank you. Thank you."
Oh, right away.
Meanwhile, Dez is kind of like, there, and pats her on the head.
This is great.
Okay, so
That should be on the ear too. Come on. Just kind of like tilt her head.
He obliges.
Okay. Dez and Belle, why don't the two of you, and this is a combined check, so it's why don't the two of you make a performance check? Because you're basically making sure that people are paying attention to you. Okay, 21 and 11, and yeah, okay, all right. So there's people that are looking at these two strange people, this half giant and this cat woman that are sitting at the bar. And they're kind of looking at you, so all eyes are there. All right, so Krenraid and Thaldohr, you all are helping to lug these people out of the back of the inn. So why don't you two make me a stealth check, and they are going to make some stealth checks of their own.
Oh, this will go well.
Okay.
20.
Never judge the dice before they go. You make them nervous. They can do it. Believe in them. Believe in the dice.
Ooh.
Okay.
If you don't have inspiration, I give it to you because I'll give you my inspiration.
I do have inspiration.
And okay. Actually, Thaldohr, you have inspiration from Drats. Belle, you have inspiration from Drats. And Mulek, you have inspiration from Drats.
Thank you, Drats.
I think it's much
Drats.
more in character to accept the consequences of those actions, because I could just imagine him trying to carry him through the door, accidentally kicks over a can or hits his head against the wall. He goes, "Ow!" or something.
Well, it's a group check, and there's 5 of you in the group because there's 3 NPCs, and as luck would have it, there were 3 out of the 5 of you rolled 20 or above, so they were good checks. So,
thank God.
Yeah. So they, all right. So Thaldohr, you go out, and then somebody's taken Damon out, and somebody's taken Florentin out, and then the 3 ladies, they are going out, and you all don't run into or spot anybody as you're trying to get out the back door of the inn. You go down to back stairs, and there's a little alley, and it winds off, and they're like, "Okay, we're good from here." And they, while they are rather slight women, they each just sort of fireman carry one of the unconscious men, and they go about 30 feet, and they go behind some crates in the alley, and you hear a little muffled noise, and an iron plate sort of moves out into the way. And then a few moments later, you see that iron plate sort of disappear, and you go down there, and there's no sign of any of them. And there's this square of like 6 foot by 6 foot or 6 foot diameter, more or less square iron plate that's on the cobblestones. So apparently there's some underground access, and they have them down there, and off they go. So
I look over at Krenraid and go, "That's the kind of stuff I'm up to when I'm not around."
But you're always around.
Not always.
Dun dun dun.
What?
So you guys have successfully dealt with that. Dez, your mutton comes, and it's very tasty.
You always make me hungry, Gally, when you describe food.
Yeah, me too.
It's a very tasty bit of roast mutton. There's some mashed potatoes and some nice savory gravy with it. A few carrots and some slices of beet that are there, and then there's some warm dinner rolls. And there's some of that butter that you guys are used to seeing that's here as well. Then Belle, the grilled river trout comes out, and it smells really good to a human nose. It is it's cooked, which maybe to a tabaxi that might be a good thing. To a tabaxi it might not be a good thing, but it's cooked.
It's on her mood. She likes them both.
Oh, okay. And it's got a dollop of some like white dill sauce. You can see the little dill seeds in it, and that's on there. And it's a nice golden brown. It is kind of a smaller trout. I mean, it fills the plate from one side to the other, but it's a little bit skinny. It's not a really fat and juicy trout, but it seems like it's prepared well, and it's got some leafy vegetables that are on the side of the plate, and it's got a couple of things that look like they're sort of candied peppers that are over there on one edge of the plate. And the aroma is very nice, and the flavor is really good. It's on a tiny tad bit on the dry side is about the only thing that and you wish it was a bigger fish. Those are the two things that you take away from it. Is it's a little bit on the dry side, and it's a little bit small. The milk is nice and cold, so that's good. And I don't know whether you eat any of the vegetables or not, but
yeah, she will.
If you don't, Des might. So yeah,
you don't eat the veggies.
She will. She'll be a good cat. Only if
otherwise,
one
when
of the guys come out.
he gets done shoveling food into his mouth, he looks over at her plate, and then while she's got her face in the fish, he's kind of like sneaks his fork over, like he's gonna get some of her vegetables.
Okay. Would you go for?
Stop it! She wouldn't stop it. She like
Dez,
guys, I didn't eat it.
Would Dez go for the leafy vegetables, or would he go for one of the candied peppers?
Probably one of both.
Okay. Yeah, the leafy vegetables, they're just lightly cooked. They still have a bit of crispness to them. It's like baby spinach type of light leafy vegetables, and not cooked to the point it's like all falling apart. And then the peppers, they are coated in this really interesting sort of chewy, sweet. It almost has kind of a cinnamon glaze to it, but then as you bite into it, there's kind of that heat of the pepper that is in there, and so it makes a real interesting flavor combination.
Des will wave down the server, whoever took their order, and points to the peppers and says, "Can I have a bowl?"
Oh, yes, by all means. You like them, sir?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, good. I'll tell the cook. We got a shipment of ice peppers from up north. One of the first crops of the season. Normally, we don't get those until a little bit later in the year. And cook was wondering what to do with them, and so came up with this. So I'll have to tell him they're a hit.
Well, I like them. I don't know if anybody else will.
Oh, well, sir, I find that if customers start to say they like them, then more and more customers will try them, and usually when more people try them, they like them as well. So we'll say that far travelers enjoy these. And he gives you a little wink, and then he goes into the kitchen. And after a moment, he returns with a nice bowl of these. A bowl that's probably would fit Dez for like a small meal, or would be enough to take back to the room and share with some of the others if Dez was so inclined. So it's up to you how you want to do that. All right, so there's 4 of you back in the room now. I presume that Krenraid and Thaldohr would return to the room after getting the ne'er-do-wells into the alley. Okay. What are you guys gonna do while they're eating dinner?
I talked to Deckard. We gotta get ready to go on the boat here in about another. What about 45 minutes or an hour? I think. What time is it?
Maybe an hour and a half. Yeah,
about an hour. We need to start.
Yeah.
We need to start heading that way in about an hour.
Well, once Dez gets done eating, and if he sees that Belle is done as well, then he'll get up to escort her back to the room, and he'll still have a bunch of peppers left.
Okay.
And puts the money down on the table for the meal.
Okay.
And then goes back upstairs. And
okay.
Once he gets there, once they shut the door, he's kind of like, I've decided that I'm going to be outside in the water while you guys are in the in the casino on the boat, and I will have several spells ready in case trouble happens. And if you want to get rid of someone, you just come over to the side of the boat that I'm hiding, and I'll be the large octopus that's stuck to the bottom of the boat.
Yeah, out of character. Last week we talked a little bit about this, and
he's just reiterating because
Okay, yeah, and you guys who have the message cantrip know that you would be able to send a one-way message to Dez. And Dez, you would be able to hear and understand it, but obviously, if you're not in a form that can communicate, you could only respond. So. Yeah, you can definitely set up that if if there's somebody going overboard intentionally, maybe have it go over either the left side or the right side, however you guys want
Or
to
if
do
you
that.
need somebody to rock the boat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing really shitty at dice. Rock the boat. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that is good. So you guys are back. I guess by the time they get back to the room, there's maybe 20 minutes or so before you would be needing to leave for the wharf. So question for Mulek. Is IG coming with you to the boat, or is IG staying at the inn or somewhere else?
No, IG's going to stay in the room. And before we leave, just since we're going to be going over the water, I'm going to cast water breathing on all of us.
Okay, 24 hours. Okay.
As a ritual. So
well, that's what I was going to say. That's what Dez was going to do.
Right, mine's wizard. You can both do it.
Yeah.
Well, now the thing
that
is,
way you could save a spell.
Well,
it's a ritual.
He's doing it as a ritual, so he's not using a spell slot. And as a druid, do you get ritual casting? I don't know if druids. Okay. I don't remember. That's all right. Somebody can do it as a ritual. So.
Yes, ritual casting.
Okay, cool. All right, so neither one of you would have to spend a spell slot, so it's fine.
I love the idea that you both start chanting the exact same spell into a circle at the exact same time. You both look at each other like,
Yeah. All right, are you doing this or am I doing it? Oh, I don't know. Are you doing it? I can do it. No, I can do it. I can do it. And finally, IG just... this big sigh. Somebody make up their mind. All right, so everybody has water breathing, and to signify that, I'm going to go ahead and find a nice little. Where is there a?
Is there a bubbles icon?
There's
Logically
not.
speaking, I believe Dez should do it first because Dez would be the furthest away in the water, and then Mulek would be on the ground. Well, not on the ground, but on the boat with the solid surface to be able to do the ritual and stuff, if need be.
We're doing it here.
Yeah, but like, if we have to redo it again.
It's
24 hours.
It lasts for 24 hours. So it lasts for a whole day.
How long are we staying on the boat for?
If it's dispelled or
just overnight. The boat leaves at dusk, or leaves at 8 p.m. and returns back at sunrise. So it's well less than 24 hours.
For a moment, like, I thought we were going on a whole boat ride across the world, like, yay!
No, it's not a cruise. Okay. All right. So everybody has the little, we'll say the little potion bottle is water breathing. So everybody has that. All right. Anything else we want to do prior to?
What's the clock on me for?
I don't know. It was some effect that you had on there earlier.
Concentration?
No.
Fortune's favor?
I mean, whatever it is, it
would be long gone by now.
It's probably gone.
That's what we've been using for his Fortune's favor as an icon.
Okay. Thaldohr, do you remember what you had the little flame thing for?
I think it was, not sure. It'd be gone, whatever it was.
Okay. All right.
Fortune's favor only lasts an hour.
So. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the only effect on everybody at the moment is the water breathing. Do we want to put any more effects on other people before you leave to go to the boat or not?
I am going to put on myself. I'm going to cast Gift of Alacrity on myself.
Okay. Okay. So, slightly speedy. So we'll say slightly speedy. And the little flag.
Cool.
All right. Then any other pre-departure things we need to take care of?
We need to make sure that there is a plan to make sure Belle does not fall into the water, or else someone's going to get killed on this boat, and we should not have that happen. Unless necessary.
Dez can always give you water walking, but it's only worth for an hour.
Huh. Are you gonna be my assistant?
When
Or is-
isn't Belle his assistant?
Yeah.
That's a very rude question to ask, you know? She's been by your side since she ever met you. Okay, I see how it is. I see.
Well, you'll be Deckard's assistant to lead him to the gaming tables since he's a blind man.
My lovely furry assistant.
Well, Thaldohr snooping around.
Yeah. And what were the roles that the other people were going to play? Because I think that you guys had thought of at least two sort of people on staff with the old blind or with Deckard. And I don't know who that was and what roles you had decided for yourselves.
I think somebody was going to be like my money manager or something, just like holding my money. I don't remember.
Probably Thaldohr. Thaldohr would do that, but if he's going to sneak around, maybe Mulek could do that.
Okay, Mulek sounds great. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. I can be your money man.
Yeah.
And then was he going to be enough of a high roller that he would have like a bodyguard or something?
Krenraid's his bodyguard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
All right.
This sounds like a plan. What could go wrong?
Okay.
Nothing.
Everything.
And then Dez is in the water. So
I'll leave a little early, and then go up river a little bit, or down river one way or the other. Find a guarded place, or not a guarded place, but a hidden place, and then he'll shape change octopus.
Okay.
A giant squid.
Yeah. Giant octopus. Okay. All right. So Dez, when you leave the inn, are you going out the back way or are you going out the main doors?
Back way.
Okay. All right. So make me a stealth check with advantage since you're going out the back door. Just to be sure that you're not noticed as you. Okay, all right. So you think you get out of the inn without anybody seeing you, and then with your senses and everything, you make your way towards the docks. And as you get over there, it's easy to tell which boat is the Grand Dame. The Grand Dame is this boat. It's the only boat that looks like it has a bunch of porches set up that line a walkway to get to the boat, and there are a knot of people standing around, and there's several people that are queuing up in that area between the torches, and most of them are dressed rather well, and there is a man that looks, well, Dez has heard a description of the sort of captain or owner of this boat as something of a fop. And, whatever that brings to mind, the person that's standing there at the head of this queue of all these people that are coming onto the ship, he definitely matches that description. He's kind of tall. He's over 6 feet tall. He's got sort of a wide salt and pepper beard. He has a big poofy hat that is sort of sitting at an angle on his head, not straight up on his head, but sort of cocked over to one side. Big poofy sleeves. He seems to be wearing silks that are in colors of, in the fading light, they're in colors of sort of aquamarine and purple and bluish. And his breeches come down and gather at the knees, and then he's got these blue hose that go down to these fancy shoes that he is wearing. And he's got some rings on his fingers, multiple rings on each hand. So he's kind of very ostentatious there. And he is sort of laughing and greeting people, and you can't really see what he's saying, but clearly that is the Grand Dame.
Gotcha.
And so then you go over and make me another. When you find you get downriver maybe a quarter of a mile, and or upriver, it's your choice. A quarter of a mile, and you find a little place that you can slip into the water. Go ahead and make me another stealth check.
Okay. Just regular?
This is just regular. There's not many people around. Okay, all right. You slip into the water, and then what does it look like? What does your... Did you choose a giant squid?
I sent you an icon. It's a PNG, so...
Okay. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. We will do that. All right. And what we're going to do at this juncture is we are going to go ahead and have our break. We'll say that you guys leave the inn and go down to the boat, and you see the people queuing up. And indeed, the Grand Dame is easy to spot. And we will leave you in the queue, ready to board the boat before we go to break. And when we come back, we will get you onto the boat. Finally, after after all these weeks, we are finally here.
It's been months.
Yeah. Literally, I think you guys got into town, or your first full session here in town was on the 9th of September. So we spent a full month here knocking around Yartar. So
and that's why
as it should be. As it should be.
Yeah.
At least we cleared Tyler's name now.
Amateurs clear Yartar in half a session. Real pros take a full month to roleplay it out.
Yes, okay. We are going to go ahead and take our break now. Folks, I'm going to bring the music up. I will be back in a few minutes. Players, remember that if you want to, you can stay here in this channel and chat, or you can go to the off-stream chat channel during the break. I'll put the timer up, and then I'm going to mute myself because I don't want to have everybody hearing my microphone banging around as I'm taking my headset off. So we'll talk to you in a few.
1, 2, 3. Everybody jump up.
Okay, I was sitting here talking to myself for a couple of minutes. That's no good. Let me go ahead and bring the music down. All right, welcome back, everybody. Viewers, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this evening. We are getting back to our game, and the players, when we last left, they were headed over towards the Grand Dame riverboat. And as you all have been led to understand, the Grand Dame is an ornately decorated riverboat, and is owned by this fellow, Khaspere Drylund. And as you head up into the queue, where they have these torches burning, and these are tall tiki torch. They're mounted kind of on the top of tiki torch poles, and you see that the torch poles themselves are probably painted in what looks like gold leaf, so that they look rather fancy and shiny and everything. And there's nice velvet ropes that lead up to that, and there's some very nice carpets that have been laid out here on the dock as you're heading up towards the group of people. And there is a man standing as greeting everybody, and he is flanked by 2 or 3 people that look like they are that look like they are crew of the boat. One of the crew appears to be sort of in charge. The other two appear to be officers of the boat, and then you have someone whom all three of the crew members defer to. And as you get closer, you can see the foppishly dressed man. He introduces himself to people as Khaspere Drylund. Welcome to the Grand Dame. It is such a lovely time, so lovely to have you. And as you get closer, he'll like greet 3 or 4 people at a time. And I couldn't find any good I couldn't find any great exterior pictures. The only exterior picture I could find of this boat is one that's kind of dark, but I want to sort of show it to everyone. And you'll probably have to enlarge it a little bit if you click on it. But this is sort of the riverboat as you get up to it. You can see that there are at least 2 decks, each with a railing around it, and there are lanterns that are hung all around the 2 decks. The upper deck appears to be a place where there might be sort of cabins for folk. The windows looking into the main level there, that looks like it mostly looks into a large area, and there's a feature that you can see in there, which is an enormous statue of what looks like some sort of waterfowl that has its sort of long neck craning up, and of course that statue is all painted with gold, or perhaps made of gold. Probably not made of gold, because something that big made out of gold would be really, really, really heavy and extremely expensive. But you can see that while it is in dock, there are little hatches. All of you have passive perception that's high enough to see that just above the water line, there are little closed portals, and it looks like they can be articulated and opened. And since this thing doesn't have any masts on it and doesn't have any sails, you would imagine that it's probably oars that come out of those and are used to propel the ship upriver against the current. So as you get up there towards the head of the line, Khaspere Drylund will greet you, and he will say, welcome to the Grand Dame for an evening of fun and entertainment, and perhaps big winnings if the luck is with you. I'm Khaspere Drylund. This is my boat. May I introduce to you my captain. He's Captain Merrick, and his first mate, Solomon, and the purser, Mr. Carson. So whoops. So let's do this. Let's go here. Captain of the Grand Dame is Merrick. First mate is Solomon. The purser is Mr. Carson. Okay. All right. So that is those 3 NPCs that you see there at the dock. And he looks at the five of you as you come up, because of course Dez is not with you. And he says, "Oh, what an interesting group." And then he looks at Thaldohr, and he says, "Oh, good sir. Are you traveling this evening for your health, or do you intend to gamble with us?"
I'll kind of look at him and look back over Thaldohr and start kind of describing what this person looks like and where they are according to where he actually is to Thaldohr.
Okay.
It's kind of like crabby look. His attitude a little bit not on good. But you know what? I think he means well.
And they all sort of look at the tabaxi a little bit. They kind of like, they're not quite sure about this person, but So what would Deckard say in response?
I'm sorry. What did they say to begin with?
They asked if you were here to gamble tonight.
Why, yes, I am.
Oh.
I have quite a bit of coin.
Oh, well, you are welcome. And is this your entourage, sir?
Yes, this is my lovely... this is my lovely assistant. And my manager. And my bodyguard.
So...
Oh, well, you certainly seem well protected. Well, my lady, gentlemen, welcome. And he says to the purser, please, would you escort them up to the main deck and make sure that there is a place that he can be seated near the gaming tables. And he's...
Deckard reaches in the pocket and pulls out something. He opens his hand and he's like, "Here, son, here's a butterscotch candy."
And he looks. The rest of you can see that he looks, and he says, "Oh, well, thank you." And he reaches over and he takes the candy and he sniffs it, and then he smiles a little bit, and then he pops it into his mouth.
The fellow kind of looked disgusted and looked back at me, looked like that's been in his pocket for I don't know how long. But doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Hey, it's medieval times. They don't have sanitary packaging or this kind of stuff. It's like little dirt. It'll be fine.
Let's be honest.
No. They're
individually. Granny was ever cleaned.
They're individually wrapped in paper wrappers. Come on.
Oh, okay, all right. So he'll unwrap it and.
Oh, so you hate the environment.
All right, so
more like Belle. Belle was probably surprised they even had these candies.
True. Just a little jerky.
So, you all are welcomed on board, and everybody make a perception check as you get close to this Khaspere Drylund character. Oh wow! Okay.
Jinx.
Really nice.
He might look blind, but he ain't blind.
Well, it's also hearing and taste and
true smell. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can see.
All right. So I have Belle, Thaldohr, Mulek, and Thaldohr. I guess Krenraid's not gonna roll for perception.
You there, Paul?
Paul, you there? Oops, did we lose him?
We killed Paul.
He's on there, but
I'm
all right.
back.
Okay.
I lost
did you?
there for a second. Apologies.
That's all right. Did you want to make a perception check?
Absolutely. Being the bodyguard, yes.
Okay.
You gotta growl at everyone with Bell. Come on.
Whoa!
Oh wow. Okay. So, wow. Everybody except Mulek.
Wah, wah.
Everybody except Mulek can see that this guy's smile is forced. If you had to guess, he is feeling quite a bit of pain at the moment. But he is smiling and glad-handing and, just sort of pushing through it. Kind of like an athlete pushing through an injury and still performing. But this guy is pushing through that and sort of making lighthearted jokes. But, just sort of kind of the way his face sort of tenses as he laughs. It's like the laughing is giving him a headache or something. You would guess. So everybody notices that except Mulek.
I was going to ask you because of that. I want to use a new perk that I got when we leveled up last. Insightful Manipulator. Spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside of combat. I can learn whether he is equal, superior, or inferior to any two of the scores of my choice, or class level, if any. I want to know what his intelligence and if his intelligence and his charisma are equal to, superior, or inferior to mine.
Okay, equal to, superior, or inferior. Okay, so what is your intelligence?
17.
His intelligence is inferior to yours. What was the other stat?
I'll go with charisma. Well, no. Wait, wisdom.
Wisdom. What is your wisdom?
13.
His wisdom is greater than yours, and his level, if any, his equivalent class level is lower than yours.
Okay. That'll be good to tell to Thaldohr and to Mulek.
Okay. All right.
And this is just the guy that met us at the.
That's Lord Drylund.
Lord Drylund, the guy that is the
Khaspere
owner.
Drylund.
Yeah, the owner of the boat.
Got it.
That is meeting everybody at the dock.
You said he was in pain?
Yes, he's hiding it well, but he looks like he's in pain.
And is there any obvious source of his pain?
No obvious source, but just kind of the tightness around his eyes and around his jaw when he laughs. It just has that look of somebody who's in pain. He's smiling, so people who are not terribly perceptive wouldn't notice it. I mean, as far as Mulek is concerned, he looks fine. But you guys are just picking up on these little telltale. Well,
do you guys remember the health problem he had that we were told about?
No. What was it?
Can I tell him
about it?
Well, okay.
We learned about it.
You can't tell them right now at the dock, but later on you can tell them about it.
I mean, out of character.
Out of character, you can tell them, yes.
Who got the information out of character is what I'm wondering. Was it me or was it somebody else?
No, it wasn't you.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember who it was, but I wrote it down in my notes.
Was it you when you talked to the bard, Mulek? It might have been you.
I gathered intel from a bunch of different people, and I think it was actually and so I told you guys that Dez had heard the workers talking about Khaspere Drylund having a bad headache, and that he disappeared into the boat and no one saw him for the rest of the evening.
Weird.
But I don't know. Apparently, I don't know that right now, and I don't notice that he's got a health issue
right
at this moment.
Yeah. Okay,
well,
but everybody else
about to change because Krenraid very bluntly will just say, you look like you're in a bit of pain there, mate. Are you all right? You want a lozenge?
And he will look at you and he will seem genuinely a bit surprised that you would notice, and then he smiles a bit and he says, he addresses to Thaldohr. He says, "My lord, you have an excellent bodyguard, very perceptive." And he says, "Oh, my good man, it's just a passing headache. I will be fine. Normally, I like to mix with the folk in the casino during the voyage, but I'm afraid I probably won't be able to this evening. But I did want to see everyone on board. But thank you for your concern. I will be well."
As long as it doesn't get in the way of my boss's good time, all is
Thaldohr again, what he looks like and how he's standing and the pain in his eyebrows that you can kind of see in the corners of his eyes, and going into detail of how he might be in pain. Says, "Well, I do hope you feel better soon." She'll kind of pull on his cheek a little bit to try and relax and say, "That's a pretty face. Don't let it wrinkle." She'll kind of boop his nose and walk back to Thaldohr's side.
And
here, Belle, give him a butterscotch candy. And he reaches in and grabs it and hands it to Belle.
Belle kind of slowly hand it over to him, "I'm sorry."
And he'll take it and he'll go, "Oh, thank you very kindly."
It's if you like it, it's Werther's original.
Okay, let's not
Weathers.
yeah, let's not use any more trademarks or brand names than we already have in this. So yeah. All right. So let's stay away from that. So you guys get on board, and the purser will lead you up to the main deck, and will take you into the casino area, and he will lead Deckard over to a couch that sits right near some of the gaming tables. And at the moment, other than the staff who are in here, there's not a whole lot of people here. Most of the people are out on the outer decks, sort of by the railing, looking at the port. And people are going, or servers are going around and giving little cups of wine to people as they're on board, and they give you, they go ahead and show you to this seat, and somebody will come in and will offer wine to each of you. And this is a little bit, it's kind of an angle back to one end of the casino. I had a hard time finding any good interior images of this boat, but
that's a lot.
So they'll seat you on this bench there.
I just wanted
back.
one or maybe two just to taste it. Sorry.
And
I wanted it without sugar, but
Ken, your mic is open.
Sorry, my bad. That's a first.
All right, so you guys are. They let Deckard sit down there on the bench, and you can see back there are several tables where they have nice felt casino type tables for dice games, some for card games. There's a big wheel area up there, for the medieval equivalent of roulette. Actually, I don't know how old a game roulette is. They may have played it in medieval days or something like it. And there is, of course, that big, enormous statue of a golden goose that you can see in the center. That's kind of a centerpiece. It's a little bit off center of the room, but it's close to the middle of the room. And you all are given glasses of wine, and then they will go ahead and let you be. And it takes maybe 15, 20 more minutes as more people come on the boat, and then you hear a bell sound, and a staff member will say, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be departing from the docks. If you would like, you may either be seated or hold on to something as we cast off. Sometimes there is a bit of a motion to the boat, but once we get out into the channel, it should be nice and smooth. And in the meantime, you guys are on board this boat, and you are in this area here. Okay.
Oh my God, people.
Yeah. So this is where you guys are, and let me go ahead, or you guys can go ahead and bring your tokens out and stick them somewhere, anywhere on the board that you want to. As the tell me first of all, where would you, or what would you guys be doing as the boat is getting ready to depart and is starting to leave?
Sticking by the old man.
Yeah, by the old man, maybe looking out any windows.
Okay. As you look out the windows, you do indeed see oars stick out from below you into the water. And the oars, they move in, not all of them move, but the ones that do move, they all move in, precise unison movements. And they will do maneuvers like to turn the boat a little bit and then to start to pull the boat out away from the docks and to move it out into the channel. And so you see this area here. I guess actually, I guess the I revealed a little bit too much of this, but to give you an idea, this area back here, this is the casino area. And then we have up here in the middle, that's an area that you guys would not necessarily see because this is the big kitchen area here. And there's a corridor that goes here. And then the front area up here is a dining room. So there's a dining room where they serve food out of this kitchen. And then there are people that will come through the casino periodically that have trays that have all kinds of like little finger foods from time to time. So it's kind of like little hors d'oeuvres they'll bring around to people. And you see some people coming here that look like they are getting ready to gamble. But there are also very smartly dressed people that are all wearing similar clothing that are manning the gaming tables. And then there is a person, a human female, She's a human female that looks like she's from the distant, far parts of beyond to the east of Faerun. And she's got sort of the kind of look of that person. She seems to be walking around, and she will occasionally smile, but she's very keenly looking at things that are going on. She doesn't get like right up next to people, but she will go someplace that she can stand, and she will watch a particular gaming table. And she will intently watch both the person dealing and the people playing for a few moments. And then after a few moments, she will move on and move to another table and continue doing the same thing. Clearly, she is someone that's keeping an eye on what is going. And as you get out into the channel and you start to head up the river, people are starting to go and play games of chance. So the question is, what, if any, kind of games of chance would Deckard like to play?
Anything really.
Okay, all right. Let's narrow it down.
Roulette, cards, whatever.
Okay.
What would be easier for you?
It doesn't matter because we have kind of our rules, our gambling rules. It's sort of that modified skill challenge thing that we were doing, where it's
how about craps? That's fun.
Okay. All right. So you go to the craps table, and let me see. I think it was in this game that we were doing that before, right? And it was, we were making some skill checks. We were making
2 episodes ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we were making some. I think the first thing we were doing is it was I forget the order, but we had a perception check, a bluff check, and a charisma check or persuasion check. The perception check was to kind of assess how well your opponents are doing. Bluff check is to sort of get your opponents confident of betting against you, and the persuasion check was to keep people in the game longer than they should stay. And so you guys now, instead of rolling against each other, it would be rolling against the house, essentially, because the house would be the other people playing.
Okay.
Yeah, what you had us roll last time was insight, and then deception, and then intimidation.
Oh, insight,
deception, and then intimidation is what you had us.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so it would be good if I wrote this down. So insight, check your opponents. Then what was the second one?
Deception.
Lure your opponents into betting more, and then intimidation. Keep your opponents in the game longer than they should stay. All right. Okie dokie.
Okay.
So,
well, I did say I had a lot of money coming in, so I better act the part. How about 500 gold a game then?
Okay. Well, you actually when when you start to pull out some gold, and they realize that that he doesn't, that he can't see, the dealer will give a subtle wave, and somebody will come over, and this woman, supervisor, if you will come over as well, and they have a strong box, and they have a large sack, and they start pulling out of the sack these wooden discs, and on one side they have an image of a golden goose, and on the other side they have an image of the or a symbol that stands for the golden goose, and around the edge they have hash marks, different numbers of hash marks, and so they will quickly tell you that this one is worth 1 gold, this one is worth 10 gold, this one is worth 1 platinum, this one is worth 5 platinum, this one is worth 10 platinum, and so they will explain this all to Deckard's entourage, his money person and his assistant, and they will ask how much in coins, or how much he wants to have for his gambling, and when they say 500, they seem to think that you mean you want 500 to start the evening with.
He'll be like, I guess we're using Mulek's name, right? No big deal.
Yeah, because nobody knows Mulek around here.
Mulek, I how about 3,000? And he just like hands you, you're holding his pouch, but he's out of character. He's got easy 3,000.
Yeah,
you have 3,000 in your gold. You have of your gold. In your pouch.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
So
I start pulling it out.
So there's kind of a murmur in the crowd. 3,000. It's like, ooh, okay. And so now there's people that are coming over to start to watch, and the supervisor starts watching, and as you're pulling coins out, she's like, yep, okay, they've got it. And so she, those of you that have an 18 or better passive perception, she's definitely going to keep an eye on you guys, but you get the feeling it's as much to protect you guys as it is to make sure you're not up to any funny business. She's kind of, okay, this is a big roller. We want to make sure that our big roller stays happy and that he doesn't get robbed. But we know that sometimes big rollers get that way because they use shady tactics. So she's watching for anything that might happen. All right. So you get the gold, and so you put 500 for the first roll, right? Or
sure.
For the first game. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, what we will do is we will, I think, what is it? I don't gamble very much myself, but in craps, what is the automatic win on the first roll? Is it an 11 or is it a 7?
7 or 11, I think.
Okay. All right.
Snake Eyes is an auto fail.
Right. All right. So what we will do is we will actually have them roll, since that is an actual dice game. We're going to go ahead and let them roll the 2d6 and just see what comes up. Okay, so 4 is the target number.
Oh God, I don't get to roll.
Yeah. Okay. No, yeah, you get to roll. You can do the.
Okay, all right.
Roll 2d6. Yeah.
Thank God, 4 is horrible.
Yeah.
2d6, got it.
Here comes 4.
Snake eyes.
Wow.
Wow, Paul. Way to jinx me.
Okay.
Hey, can I keep the original point 4? Let's
Okay, so 4 becomes the target number, and instead of going through and rolling all of these, we'll let your skill checks versus their skill checks determine whether you hit the target number or whether somebody else wins. All right, so the first one we said was an insight check. And Mulek, if you don't have DM advantage, go ahead and give yourself DM advantage for looking that up real quick.
I already have it, but thanks.
Okay.
Okay, insight?
Yeah, insight.
Ooh, I'm going to use my... I'm going to use my inspiration. Or no, I have advantage from last week from
you got
chat. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if that helps. Okay.
24. Okay. All right. So the house insight opposed roll is a 13. All right. So that is 1 roll to the good in your favor.
Deception is next, I think.
Deception is next, yes. 16. And they will make a roll. And okay, so that's 2 wins. So you are automatically going to win at least half again your total. And then the third one is intimidation. And at this point, several people are out because, the rounds keep going and people keep making side bets and it gets too rich for some people. So
Okay.
16 intimidation and the house rolls. Oh, the house rolls a 20. All right. So, you wind up on your initial $500 or 500 gold. You wind up getting 750 gold, and the other. And the other 250 from the house either goes back to the house or it goes to some people that made some side bets.
So I won 250 basically. Is what you're saying.
You won 250. So you're up 250 gold.
Okay.
At this juncture. All right, and there's some appreciative applause, and they kind of like the way that. The first time, you pick up the dice and you sort of blow on them, and then they like the second time when you pick up the dice and you hold it out to Belle so she can blow on it. And, and you throw it, and Belle does that thing like where she reaches out and grabs your hand and sort of pulls your hand toward her face so she can blow on the dice. It adds a nice little touch to everybody saying, "Oh yeah, he really is blind, but he's rolling really well." And so then what would you want to continue playing craps or play something else?
Yeah. Let's do another round, and then I guess would Thaldohr at this point, would he kind of like slip off and start doing
I would.
So after this thing, like he can, that would be great to cut to him. Okay.
Yeah.
So roll a 2d6 to start with. Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll a 2d6. We'll find out what the.
Oh my God.
That was 1d6.
That's 1d6. Yeah,
oh, thank God. Okay.
So
7.
6. Yeah, it's 6. So, all right. So then we go back to your deception and then intimidation. Or
Okay.
no, wait. It's the
Insight.
Insight, deception, and intimidation. Okay.
Okay. I'm
Insight,
gonna, I'm gonna use my inspiration. Why not? That was a really bad roll, so.
There you go.
Wow. All right. Oh, and they got a nat 22. But
Wow.
28 beats a 24.
Yep, that's true.
Good use of an
Okay.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Good use.
Very good use. Okay. So then the next roll is the deception, right?
Yeah, he's like, he's all excited. He laughs and he's like, "Oh, this is great! Can I get a drink?"
Oh, certainly, sir. Would you like wine or an ale or?
How about a Diablo on the rocks?
Yeah.
Well, we do have a Diablo whiskey, so they go off and then they bring back a little tumbler that has, some ice and a couple of fingers of an amber spirit in it. Okay, so go ahead and make your deception check.
Come on, baby.
Nice.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah. Okay, so that's 2 successes.
Okay, and the last one was
Thaldohr's As Thaldohr's watching this before he gets up and takes off, he's like, "Damn, this is why I don't play with a bard."
Yeah, intimidation. So go ahead when you're ready.
Oh, well, it is what it is.
Oh, wow! So this time you double your 500. So
very nice.
Yes. So now, for you guys that are keeping track, your winnings or Deckard's winnings are 750 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Now this does not concern the. This does not seem to concern because already you can see that there are some people that are, most of the tables, people are losing money. So, you're winning, most of the people are losing. By the end of the night, the house is probably going to wind up coming out ahead.
Sure they will.
But so let's cut over to Thaldohr. So Thaldohr, you kind of get a lay of the land of this boat. You can see that at the back of the casino, there's a spiral staircase that goes up and goes down. And then if you wound up going into the dining hall, you would see that there's another spiral staircase that goes up and goes down.
I'd probably make my way towards the dining hall and then also try to find my contacts on the boat.
Okay. All right. You will be walking past the kitchen, and there's a server that comes out of the kitchen and has a large platter of food and steps out into the hall and gives you a look, and in Thieves' cant says, "Well, I'm certainly glad Isabella told us you were in disguise." And says, "Meet," then says, give me 10 minutes and meet me outside on the bow.
And Thieves can reply, can do. See you then.
Okay. All right. So that server will head into the dining room, and there's a couple little doorways where you can get out onto the deck and then walk up towards the bow of the boat. And there are a couple of people milling around out here. There's sort of off here on the starboard side. Starboard is right, correct? So
Port is left, starboard is right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a young couple. Looks like a human young couple, and they're kind of just gazing at the water, and then he puts his arm around her, and they turn to each other and they start smooching.
Right. Thaldohr pulls out his pipe, puts a little tobacco in it, and starts just puffing just to blend in, just nonchalantly.
Okay. And in a couple of minutes, the server will come up, and it is a human male. And he will say, in Thieves Can't, he'll get like right next to you, and he'll say, I only have a few moments. What business or what can I help you with?
I need to know how to get to the captain's quarters. I mean, what is Lord
Drylund?
Lord Drylund. I need to know how to get to Lord Drylund's quarters the quietest way I can.
Well, you go upstairs, and Lord Drylund's cabin is on the upper deck, just above the casino. So the best way to do that will be probably to go up through the dining room using those stairs. That will take you into no, actually, go up through the casino. That will take you to the dance hall in the back of the upper deck, and then very quietly make your way outside. And the first cabin that you come to will be Lord Drylund's, the one that's right next to the dance hall.
Got you. Now, one more question: is there anything below deck that I need to be aware of?
Just the rowers.
Okay.
And some of Palming's security. And when they're not manning the oars, they are the extra muscle. The good thing is, while we're going upriver, most of them are occupied with powering the boat. When we begin to drift downriver, most of them are free at any one time. They rotate because they basically just have to steer us, keep us off the shoals as we come back down the river.
Will Drylund most likely be in his cabin?
I believe so. I heard somebody say that he was not feeling well on the docks today. So when he is not feeling well, he usually spends most of the voyage in his cabin.
Got you. So you think I might be able to get in there without him noticing?
Oh, well, that depends on whether he's asleep or not. You should be aware that he does have a pet octopus. It is in a tank, but it can survive outside the tank for some times, and sometimes you will find him with it perched on his shoulder.
Wow. Interesting. I know he was gaudy, but goodness.
Yes. you might want to just try to see if you can listen at the door, see if he's moving around in there or not.
Got you. I appreciate the help and the information. Be safe and don't get caught.
And one more thing. If you have any matter of urgency that that would allow you, or if you have the means to bribe Lord Drylund, you might gain a chance to talk to him without having to use deception.
I appreciate that. Gold goes a long way.
Yes, it does. He's a man. He's a man with great ambitions.
That just gave me an idea. And as Thaldohr's thinking, he's starting to write. He pulls out a quill and paper, and I do have my, my skill in forgery. So I'm sitting there just thinking of like a document that would like give him power or something, like a new title or land. Just scribbling on a piece of paper, just ideas as I'm walking.
Okay. All right. So he takes his leave and he heads back into the cabin. Thaldohr can make his way sort of to the back of the casino, and then climbs up and enters into the dance hall. And the dance hall is not quite so crowded.
Right.
But yeah, so
I'll sneak outside then, I guess, on the port. Did he say port side or starboard?
Yeah, probably port side would be.
All right. So I'll sneak out to the deck and go up to the cabin that he was talking. Well, I'll look for guards or anybody, then go up to the deck of the cabin.
Yeah, at the moment there doesn't seem to be any obvious guards around, but make a perception check.
16.
16. Yeah, you don't notice anybody. But you get outside and there's a little window, and you can look in and you can see through this window there is a desk, and there is a central feature in the room that is a table that has a large glass aquarium on it. And inside this aquarium is indeed an octopus. And the octopus sort of body is, maybe about a foot across, and its arms are they must be sort of curled up because you don't see the arms spread out or anything, but it's just sort of laying there on some gravel that's in the at the bottom of the water in this tank that's there. And there is a man on the far side of the a man, and by the way he's dressed, you can tell this is your guy. This is Drylund, the guy that you saw on the deck or on the dock, and he is he's just holding his he's sort of rubbing his temples, and he just looks like he's deep in thought, and is standing there, and his head is kind of bowed a little bit as he's just sort of rubbing his temples. As though he's trying to massage them, as though his head pains him.
So I might be able to do this diplomatically. Because I know his intelligence is less than mine. So, yeah. I guess I'll go up to the door and just knock.
Okay. All right. You give a little knock, and he just sort of jumps, and he turns, and he crosses. You can hear footsteps crossing towards you, and he says, "Who is it?"
My name is Tyrael. I'm here with the High Roller, but I'm been sent here on business to see you, Lord.
Yes, okay, and you can hear you can hear the door unlocking, and he opens it, and he will let you in. And when you get into Lord Drylund's cabin, his cabin is a testament to bad taste. Has purple velvet curtains and scented candles in gaudy candelabras. In the middle of the room is a table with a large aquarium tank resting atop it. The aquarium contains a coral reef that serves as a home for his pet octopus.
Feel freaked out by the pet octopus.
Yeah, and the table is a solid closed table, so you can't see underneath it because it has sides. So it might, maybe it has. You can't see any obvious doors, but those panels may open, and there may be a space inside that table there.
Got you.
Other furnishings include a silk hammock, a writing desk covered with quills and loose sheets of blank parchment, a small table holding a silver wine decanter and matching goblet, and an iron stove. And the stove is lit, and it's very low setting, but it's a little bit warmer in here than it is outside.
Got you. Yes, my lord. I am with the High Roller Deckard, but I was sent here on business from Neverwinter to see you.
Oh, from Neverwinter, you say?
Yes.
Please, have a seat, Mr.
Tyrael.
Tyrael. Would you like some wine?
No, thank you, my lord. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. He offers you a seat, and then he sits down opposite you, and he says, "So how can I help you?"
I'm usually a person that likes to cut to the chase, and not the bullshit or take up a lot of your time. But I'm here on dealings of the movings of a storm giant.
And he looks at you and he says, "A storm giant? Why come to me about a storm giant?"
Some of our associates have informed me that you would know his whereabouts and location.
Okay. He's like, I don't know anything about a storm giant, and he starts to bluster a little bit, and make me an insight check.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, he is clearly lying. He is lying through his teeth. Yeah, he's definitely, he knows what's what. He says, "That's preposterous. Why would I know anything about a storm giant?"
Let's cut the BS, Lord. Let's cut through the BS here. I have a document here that our associates in Neverwinter have given me to give to you, that you have inherited a keep in Neverwinter. Okay, for your services to the order. So can you please let me know where the storm giant is being kept, and I will gladly give you this deed to that keep.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion? All right. Not horrible.
Let me see this deed.
Okay. I would have forged it on my way up to the thing. It might be a little sloppy, but I can roll for that if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead and make a forgery check.
I'm trying to remember what we used for that. Was that?
I think it is gonna be. What do you? It's a tool, so
right.
You would be using your. I think it's a combination of your. Well, you're trying to forge it, so that would be a dexterity thing. So yeah.
Dexterity. Okay.
Yeah. Do a dexterity check. Add your proficiency bonus to it.
Yeah. And if you have expertise, you also add that in the tool.
Yeah, and if you add expertise, you.
Yeah, because I don't. It's a weird thing about D&D Beyond. I can't just click on it. Apparently, I have to.
Right.
Yeah. Hold on. I just have to roll with dexterity and add +4. So hold on. +4 to that, so 16.
16. He looks at it and he says, "What order are you from? What order are you with? You say this is in service to the order."
I'm trying to hold on. This is out of character. Who did the Thieves Guild say he worked for? She had mentioned something about it.
The Kraken Society.
Yeah, the Kraken. Of course, why he has the octopus. 2 and 2. Come on, Thaldohr. The Kraken Society sent me, my lord. Of course.
And he looks at you and he says, "I highly doubt that. I haven't seen any of the signs. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave." And he stands up, and you can see that he is armed with a rapier.
As am I, but I'm not going to pull my weapon.
Yeah.
Signs, my lord. What do you mean? This is supposed to be incognito as it is. I mean, do you not see they gave you a keep in Neverwinter? Come on, for your services? Come on, you're being ridiculous.
And he says, no, I cannot. I cannot believe that you are here. You would not be sent. You would not be sent by them. You have. Let's see. Oh, come on, dadgummit. Okay. Yeah. He says, Slarkarthrell would not send you. That's preposterous.
Why is that unbelievable that Slarkarthrell wouldn't send me?
He would not send you if he wanted you to know that King Hecaton was aboard the Morkoth in the Trackless Sea. He would have had messengers tell you that himself. Now get out.
Fine, my lord. If you don't believe me, he also sent me with a bag of 500 gold.
And you start to reach for the gold, and when you start to reach for the gold, Lord Khaspere's eyes go wide, and he clutches his head, and he opens his mouth like he's about to scream, but it instead of a scream, it comes out as kind of like a gurgle, and he just gets rigid, and he starts to fall back. But instead of falling, he hits the wall, and his muscles are so tense that he just is standing there, leaned back against the wall, his face frozen in agony and fear, and his eyes roll back in their sockets. And then you see from the base of his eye sockets and from his nostrils, blood begins to pour down his face.
Oh, God.
And that's where we're going to end our session tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
He must be allergic to gold.
He must be. That or he said something he shouldn't have.
So, yes. All right. That is our session for this evening. We have Thaldohr in a cabin with a dead man. We have early luck is with Thaldohr in the casino, and we will have to see how all of this plays out as we go later in the night aboard the Grand Dame.
But
so
we know where Thaldohr knows where the Storm King is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does. So we'll give you guys a chance to figure out what you want to do for the rest of the evening when we return. And we should be back next week. Yes, we will be playing next week for another session of the Sword Coast Chronicles. All right, everyone. Players, thank you guys for coming tonight. And viewers, thank you for joining us this evening. As always, want to let Paul and Michael talk a little bit about what's coming up on their streams. Paul, do you have anything coming up between now and next Thursday that you want to talk about?
I do indeed. So we have a Blades in the Dark game on October the 20th, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. EST. It is a gang violence gothic crime TTRPG that we're playing called Blades in the Dark. Very, very fun. And we're just about to try and heist a giant squid from a rival gang. So that's going to be an interesting experience.
Interesting. And what channel is this going to be on?
This is going to be on the Action Sturge over on Twitch.
Okay, yes.
Twitch TV/the Action Sturge, but it's STURGE, which is a bit odd, I know, but it's a pun.
And it's the Action Sturge, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I have that there. Yeah, John and everybody over at the Action Sturge, they play some great games. They always have a lot of fun. So you should go check them out on Wednesday night. And Michael, what's going on over on the Doors of Fear channel between now and next week?
So Saturday, hold on. Saturday, I will be hosting Jackbox party games in memory of my friend that passed on Sunday. We will, the community will be getting together and playing some Jackbox games. So if you want to come show your support and things, we'll be doing that Saturday. That's why I haven't streamed all week. So, yeah.
Okay, and do you know what time that's going to start?
8 p.m. Central Time.
8 p.m. Central Time. Okay. All right. So 8 p.m. Central Time. That will be a good thing for us to. I'll have to make note of that so we can go and raid that stream when we finish our Saturday night session. speaking of which, our next game here on this channel is going to be Saturday night. It will be our second edition Saturday night Greyhawk game. We have been on hiatus for a couple of weeks, but there's no soccer game this week, so we will be back in action on Saturday night. We are going through the original Temple of Elemental Evil adventure, and the party are just leaving the old moat house in the company of their Knoll allies, and they are heading out into the gnarly forest on their way to Null. But they're going to check out these rumors of these abandoned ruins that might actually be what's left of the old Temple of Elemental Evil. So they're going to try to see what they can find. We'll see what happens to them as they trek through the gnarly forest. So that will be 7:30 Eastern Time on Saturday evening. And then when we finish that up, we will go ahead and we will raid Thaldohr, or raid Dorzafir, and pop in for those Jackbox games that they are playing over there. And then we will be back on Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for our 5th edition Planeswalking game. Is going to be our last session for October this week. They just found out they're getting ready to go to a desert world called Rook, where there's some really weird things that go on with magic there. And they are in search of memory crystals from their boss, and also they are in search of some rare ore, some rare metal that is needed for a contraption that their allies from Blackstaff Tower and the Ravnican guilds are building to help defeat the nefarious Githyanki that attacked Waterdeep so many sessions ago in the game. So join us for that. And then Monday night, we will be back for Monster Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And this week, I'm going to be looking at... we looked at an aberration last week, so now we're going to look at a beast. And sort of the random die roll said it came up with Ankylosaurus. So instead of looking at just one dinosaur, I'm going to be looking at the Ankylosaurus and armored dinosaurs in general, and sort of talking about how long they've been in the game. There's not much suspense about where they came from, their origins, but also the kinds of things that you can do if you want to put dinosaurs in your campaign, the kind of crazy clash of worlds type of game that you can run if you have dinosaurs in your D&D game. They are there for a reason. And obviously there are settings within D&D where they are native. So join me on Monday night for that Monster Monday. And then we're back next Thursday night for another session of Sword Coast Chronicles. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hope you have a wonderful evening. And I am going to pull up Twitch, see if anybody else is playing some D&D, and see if we can go ahead and raid someone that is playing some more D&D. Let's do. See. All right. Okay. Let's do Urk the Turtle. We'll raid Urk the Turtle. See. going on there?